What's going on, y'all? It's Steve here. I want to talk to y'all really quick about Donald Trump and President Zelensky. Yesterday, these two met up at the Oval Office, and these two, had a verbal back and forth going on while having this meeting at the Oval Office. And I do have an article right here by AP News, and the link to their article will be down in the description box below. But I want to check this out. I want to talk about this because I've been hearing other YouTubers talk about this. So, I just want to talk about this and give my own thoughts and 2 cents. Now, the title of this article says Zelensky leaves White House without signing minerals deal after Oval Office blow up. So, all right. So I'm scrolling down. Okay, so President Donald Trump berated Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky for being disrespectful Friday in an extraordinary Oval Office meeting, then abruptly called off the signing of a minerals deal that Trump said would have moved Ukraine closer to ending its war with Russia. The astonishing turn of events could scramble affairs in Europe and around the globe. During his visit with Trump, Zelensky was expected to sign the deal allowing the US greater access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals and hold a joint news conference. But that plan was scraped after the heated engagement between the leaders in front of the news media. Okay, see, like, okay, I'm gonna give my own thoughts and 2 cents after I'm done reading this article. It's unclear what the blowup could mean for the deal that Trump insisted. I'm so sorry about that. That Trump insisted was essential to repay the U.S. for the more than $180 billion in American aid sent to Kyiv since the start of the war. And it remains to be seen what, if anything, Trump wants Zelensky to do to get the deal back on track. The Ukrainian leader was asked to leave the White House by top Trump advisors shortly after Trump shouted at him, showing open disdain. You're gambling with World War III, and what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country. This country has backed you far more than a lot of people say they should have, Trump told Zelensky. Yeah, and I agree with that because, when Joe Biden was in office, Joe Biden was, giving Zelensky and his country, Ukraine, weapons and money. And I think he was giving them two medical supplies too. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what happened too. But yeah, Zelensky got a lot of things from America, weapon supplies, money, he got the things that he needed from America, through the Biden administration. But anyway, the last 10 minutes of the nearly 45-minute meeting devolved into a tense back and forth between Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Zelensky, who had urged skepticism about Russia's commitment to diplomacy, citing Moscow's years of broken commitments on the global stage. That's interesting. Okay, Zelensky's main objective going into the sit-down had been to press Trump not to abandon his country and to warn against moving too close to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Instead, he got shouted at while Trump appeared to play up the drama for the cameras. I mean, now, there was a video, in fact, that surfaced between these two going back and forth. And it seemed like, to me, Zelensky was the one being the aggressor in that meetup. And you know, Trump, all he was trying to do was, just help him out. But it seemed like Zelensky was just, being the aggressor in that video. So there's pictures here of Trump and Zelensky. Okay, so there is more to the article. Okay, at one point, Zelensky said Putin had broken his own signature 25 times on ceasefires and other agreements and could not be trusted. Trump responded that Putin had not broken agreements with him and ducked questions about offering security guarantees to Ukraine. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Saying he thought the minerals deal, which is now on hold, would effectively end the fighting. That's interesting. Things first got testy after Vance challenged Zelensky, telling him, Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office to try to litigate this in front of the American media. Zelensky tried to object, prompting Trump to raise his voice and say, you're gambling with the lives of millions of people. At another point, Trump declared himself in the middle and not on the side of either Ukraine or Russia in the conflict. Yeah, and Trump, all he's trying to do is just bring peace between Russia and Ukraine. He's not trying to pick sides. He's just, all Trump wants to do is just bring peace and, end the violence that's going on, right? Because, Trump, he's trying to bring peace around the world, you know what I mean? But where was I? Oh yeah, so you see the hatred he's got for Putin, Trump said. That's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. Yeah, man, come on, like Donald Trump is trying to help you, right? And here you are trying to be hostile. But there is more to the article. Trump later told reporters shortly before departing for his Mar-a-Lago resort in South Florida for the weekend that he wanted an immediate ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine, but expressed doubt that Zelensky was ready to make peace. Yeah. I mean, because, this dude, he came into the White House. He came into the Oval Office, right? He came in there with a bad attitude. He came in there, being the aggressor, right? And, all Donald Trump was trying to do, he was just trying to help him out. But, right here. Zelensky made an appearance on Fox News on Friday evening in which he said his public spat with Trump and Vance was not good for both sides. But Zelensky said Trump, who insists Putin is ready to end the 3-year grinding war, needs to understand that Ukraine can't change its attitude toward Russia on a dime. Okay. So Zelensky added that Ukraine won't enter peace talks with Russia until it has security guarantees against another offensive. So it's so sensitive for our people, Zelensky said, and they just want to hear what America is. They just want to hear that America is on our side and that America will stay with us, not with Russia, with us. That's it. Following the meeting, Trump posted on his social media site that he had determined that Zelensky is not ready for peace. Which, I don't think he is either. I don't think so either. Because again, you come to America from Ukraine, right? You have this meetup with President Trump, but during this meetup, you become the aggressor. You're trying to start this beef between you and Trump, and it's like, yo, man, like you're a grown man trying to start confrontation with another grown man. But anyway, following the meeting, Trump posted on his social media site that he had determined Zelensky is not ready for peace. Okay, so I read that. So he also said he disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace, Trump wrote. Which, by the way, I did hear that Donald Trump did kick out Zelensky, did kick Zelensky out of the Oval Office. I did hear about that, which is pretty funny. Democrats immediately criticized the administration for the breakdown. Democratic Senate leader Chuck Schumer said Trump and Vance are doing Putin's dirty work. Okay. The testy discussion was especially surprising since it came a day after Trump struck a more conciliatory tone towards Ukraine, calling America's support against Russia's invasion a very worthy thing to do, and disclaiming any memory that he had called the Ukrainian leader a dictator. Trump and Zelensky spoke politely, even with admiration, of each other for the first half hour of the meeting. But when the Ukrainian leader raised alarm about trusting any promises from Putin to end the fighting, Vance offered his strong rebuke for airing disagreements with Trump in public. That instantly shifted the terror of the conversation as Zelensky grew defensive and Trump and his vice president blasted him as ungrateful and issued stark warnings about future American support. Yeah, you know, I don't know, man. Like, Zelensky, man, he should have came to Trump humble, man. Like, you don't go to Trump and then have a cool conversation with him 1 minute, and then the very next minute, you start to act real hostile. You start to act real aggressive towards him when he's trying to help you and help your country. But anyway, okay, so it's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, Trump said to Zelensky as the two leaders talked over each other about past international support for Ukraine. Vance then interjected, again, just say thank you. Right, exactly. And I do agree with Vance on that because, like I said earlier, Zelensky, right, he got a lot of weapons and he got a lot of money from America through the Biden administration when this whole thing was going down between Russia and Ukraine, But anyway, Zelensky pushed back on Vance, telling him he's offered his appreciation a lot of times to the American people and the president. The Ukrainian leader, after leaving the White House, expressed his gratitude on social media. well, you didn't show any gratitude when you were sitting next to Donald Trump. You weren't showing any type of gratitude. You were being very hostile. You were being very aggressive during that meetup. Okay, so Zelensky wrote, "Thank you, America. Thank you for your support. Thank you for this visit." Zelensky wrote, "Thank you at POTUS, Congress, and the American people. Ukraine needs just and lasting peace, and we are working exactly for that." But administration officials were not satisfied with Zelensky and perceived a hostility with him and his body language in the Oval Office, according to a White House official. Trump also objected to the Ukrainian leader bringing up the issue of security guarantees when Trump made clear he wanted to focus on the minerals deal, said the official, who requested anonymity to discuss the internal deliberations. Former President Joe Biden had also grown frustrated at moments with Zelensky for being insufficiently grateful of American support, according to former administration officials. But unlike Trump, Biden expressed his displeasure with Zelensky privately. I mean, there is more to the article right here. Um, Trump also suggested that Zelensky should not be demanding concessions. You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now, Trump said, pointing his finger towards Zelensky. he pointed his he pointed his finger towards Zelensky. That's crazy. Shortly before the meeting ended, Trump said, "This is going to be great television." Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that. I mean, after all, you know, after this whole thing was said and done, I mean, Donald Trump did kick Zelensky out of the Oval Office. He did kick him out, which, when I heard about that, I was like, wow, that's funny. As Ukrainian forces hold out against slow but steady advances by Russia's larger and better equipped army, leaders in Kiev have sought to ensure any potential U.S. brokered peace plan would include guarantees for the country's future security. Hmm. Many Ukrainians fear a hostility negotiated peace, especially one that makes too many concessions to Russian demands, would allow Moscow to rearm and consolidate its forces for a future invasion. Senator Lindsey Graham, a Trump ally who has also advocated to keep up American support for Ukraine, said he wasn't confident that the Trump Zelensky relationship could be repaired. Yeah, I agree with that because Zelensky, man, he just, he came to the Oval Office, being, very hostile and very aggressive, you know, like, bro, like, like you don't like when you're asking somebody for help, you don't come to that person as the aggressor, okay? You go to that person with humility, okay? Like it's just common sense, right? You don't, if I'm somebody that's coming up to you and asking you for some help, I'm not going to come up to you and, try to like be this aggressor or, be this like defensive person that's trying to, put on this tough act. No, I'm gonna come at you. I'm gonna come to you with grace and humility. You know what I mean? It's just common sense. But okay, so there is more. I don't know if you can even do a deal with Zelensky anymore, the South Carolina Republican said. Fears that Trump could broker a peace deal with Russia that is unfavorable to Ukraine have been amplified by recent presented busting actions by his administration. Trump held a lengthy phone call with Putin, and U.S. officials met with their Russian counterparts in Saudi Arabia without inviting European or Ukrainian leaders. Both dramatic breaks with previous U.S. policy to isolate Putin over his invasion. European leaders were quick to reinforce their support for Ukraine after the contentious Oval Office meeting. In a post on X, Europe Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said Zelensky's dignity honors the bravery of the Ukrainian people. Be strong, be brave, be fearless, she added. You are never alone, dear President. Uh, Italian Prime Minister um, uh, Giorgia Meloni uh, proposed an immediate summit between the United States and European allies to speak frankly about how we intend to face today's great challenges, starting with Ukraine. Every division of the West makes us all weaker and favors those who would like to see the decline of our civilization, she said. A division would not benefit anyone. Yeah, I agree with that, man. Like, you know, division, man. Division doesn't solve anything, man. When you bring people together, man, you have a bigger and a stronger society when you bring people together, man. But when you keep people divided, man, our society becomes weak, man. It becomes toxic and it becomes weak. But okay, so there's more to the article. Associated Press writers Ju- Associated Press writers Justin Spike in Kiev, Stephanie DeZio in Berlin, and Giada Zampano in Rome, J.J. Cooper in Phoenix, and Michelle L. Price in New York contributed to this report. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, man, this whole thing with Trump and Zelensky, man. If it were me, if I was Zelensky, man, if I was going to Trump, man, I would come to Trump with some humility. I'm not going to. I wouldn't go to Trump, trying to like put on this tough guy act, trying to be aggressive and hostile. I'm not going to do that. When like I said before, man, like when you're trying to like when you're asking somebody for help, right? You don't ever go up to that person, being the aggressor. You don't ever go up to that person, trying to put on this tough act, man. You don't do that, because that's how you burn bridges with people. That's how you push people away. But anyway, man, I'm done. The link to this article will be down in the description box below. Make sure y'all read it. Make sure y'all check it out for yourselves. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, and I'm out. I love y'all. Peace.